Hello and welcome. My name is Barbara. In this video, you will learn why emotional intelligence matters and how to develop it. We will also do some exercises, so stay tuned. I worked in a stock-listed packaging and paper producing company when I started my journey to search inside yourself. Since my certification, I have been supporting business leaders and employees to develop an agile mindset and to strengthen their resilience and emotional intelligence. With COVID-19, all of us have directly experienced what it means to live in a VUCA world. The exponential growth of the invisible virus completely changed our life from one day to the other. It exposed us to an enormous amount of uncertainty and showed us how little we actually have under control. At the same time, we experienced how interconnected we are and how complex the world became. It also confronted us with lots of ambiguity. This situation we are currently in triggers a threat state in our brain, and it activates a so-called fight, flight, or freeze response. Maybe you've noticed by yourself that it's easy to lose focus on what's essential, that it's easy to get trapped in stress, anger, self-doubt, overwhelm, that it's easy to lose the sense of balance between our work and our life, and difficult to disconnect when we want to. Maybe you feel that there is a sense of untapped possibility. Maybe you are even struggling to find meaning. Or you feel driven by your day-to-day challenges and want more space to have perspective. And even if the time is available, you have a hard time making it a habit. These are the challenges we are all facing in one way or the other. So what can we do? The answer we give in Search Inside Yourself: strengthen your emotional intelligence. This might sound a bit surprising to you. We may think we are rational and analytical. But emotions are included in everything we do, whether we are aware of them or not. So suppressing or denying our emotions is not really a helpful strategy. In contrary, it backfires. Emotional intelligence is the tool for helping us manage the emotional part of what's going on, so that we can be effective, productive, compassionate, and most importantly, at least for me, to be happy. What exactly does emotional intelligence mean, and how can we strengthen it? The creators of the theoretical framework, Peter Salovey and John Mayer, define it as the ability to monitor one's own and others' feelings and emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and actions. Emotional intelligence covers two domains. How do I relate with myself, and how do I relate with others? On an intrapersonal level, it is about knowing yourself, knowing your emotions, managing your emotions. It is also about understanding your true inner motivation that supports you to live the life of your dreams. On an interpersonal level, it is about recognizing and understanding other people's emotions and managing relationships through skillful engagement. So emotional intelligence is a set of skills. The good news, they can be trained. What does this mean in practice? I want to share a personal story that was in a way eye-opening to me. It's a tradition that in summertime, my best friend's son spends a week with me. His name is Paul. Paul is a very easygoing child with a big heart. I just love him. When Paul was about 6 years old, he again spent a week with me. As always, we did all the things he enjoyed: skating, biking, swimming, visiting museums, entertainment parks, and so on. I made it a week in paradise for him. We had an amazing time together. Lots of fun, lots of laughter, and we really enjoyed each other's company. And I also need to admit, I needed a few days of resting and doing nothing afterwards. At the end of this week, just an hour before his mother was about to pick him up, I was cooking his favorite meal, and Paul was playing the little elephant I bought him at the zoo the day before. Everything just seemed to be perfect. And all of a sudden, he said, Barbara, I didn't like the time together at all. I don't need you. You're just annoying. Wow, this really hit me like a hammer after all that I have done. And I can still remember the situation as if it happened yesterday. An intuitive, autopilot type of reaction to that could be explaining what we did, how much fun we had, and so on. Do you think, would that improve the situation? Most probably not. A more emotional, intelligent way would be to take a moment and to pause, to recognize my emotions. I was really hurt. I felt anger. There was so much sadness. And also recognize and understand Paul's emotions. I mean, he's really missing his mom. He's only 6 years old and hasn't seen her for a week. And his reaction was just a way expressing that. In a next step, asking myself, what is it that he needs? Considering this information, I was able to consciously guide my behavior. And this is already difficult with people we love, and much more difficult with colleagues and other people we are in conflict with. Even more difficult when we feel stressed. How often are we exposed to situations at work or in our private life where somebody just doesn't react the way we expected, and then misunderstandings or conflicts arise? You might already see emotional intelligence helps us to expand our leadership capacity, to improve collaboration and performance, and to enhance well-being and resilience. How can we develop emotional intelligence? Search Inside Yourself takes a unique approach. We do not try to add something from the outside. Instead, we learn to live more skillfully by turning the focus on attention inward. This leads to greater self-awareness, which forms the foundation for emotional intelligence. You might ask, why is it so important to turn attention inward? In our hyper-connected, always-on world, we tend to run on autopilot. We act on past habits and assumptions without paying much attention to what we are doing. Or we are ruminating about the past or worrying about the future, only superficially tuned in to what's really happening in front of us. What do you think? How much time do we, on average, spend on autopilot? One study based out of Harvard estimates we spend about 50% of our time thinking about something other than we are doing. Just imagine, this is your dentist, your mechanic, the hairdresser. Maybe you know somebody who knows somebody who experienced something similar like this. At work, thinking about the after work program. During that, thinking about the evening. And most probably you can already guess what the next picture will look like. And we laugh because we all know those situations. How often has it happened to you that you were reading something and you had to reread the last paragraph? Or you were in a conversation and your mind was occupied by something else? When we are not fully present, we are wasting our time and other people's time. And research also says it does not make us happy. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. The good news, if that ever happened to you, everything is okay with you. Because our brain is built like that. And the autopilot is a wise function of the brain that helps us automate behavior and use our limited brain resources in an efficient way. The problem only occurs when we constantly run on autopilot and when we are not aware of it. Because if we are not really present with what we are doing, how can we listen to others? How can we learn from what's happening? How can we appreciate a meal or quality time with others? So the big question is, how can we get off autopilot? The key is to become aware. To become aware of what's happening as it is happening. That's also the shortest definition of mindfulness. Mindfulness means being aware. It's so simple. Being aware of what's going on within us, in our mind, in our body, including the physiological sensations of emotions. and doing so with an attitude of kindness and curiosity. Kindness helps us keep an attitude of openness that can see whatever is there. Curiosity helps us investigate things more closely, to see past our automatic surface level impressions. The paradox: the more we can be aware of our inner world, the more we can be aware what's going on around us. That's also why leadership starts with ourselves. Mindfulness is simple and it's not easy. It takes practice, continuous practice. Would you like to get a taste? I invite you to a short mindful breathing practice. It only takes a couple of minutes. Just follow my instructions as good as you can. There is nothing you can do wrong. Just explore. Let's begin by taking a moment to allow your body to settle into a comfortable position. Feel your feet on the floor, the weight of your body on the chair. With your inhale, allow your spine to lengthen, your neck to lengthen. You may want to tuck your chin slightly. With your out-breath, relax your face, your shoulders, your chest, your belly. Your hands are resting on your thighs. You may close your eyes or keep them slightly open, looking downward a few feet in front of you with a soft focus. Sitting in a way that feels both alert and relaxed. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Allow the breath to find its natural rhythm. Bring gentle awareness to breathing. How do you know that you are breathing? You may notice a movement of the abdomen or chest, or the sensations of air passing at the tip of the nose, or a sensation in the throat, or a sense of the whole body breathing. Wherever the sensation is most vivid for you, allowing your attention to rest there. Be curious about the sensation of each breath, each distinct from the last. Perhaps as though you are noticing your breath for the very first time. And continue feeling the sensations of breathing for a few more breaths. To prepare yourself to end this exercise, take a deep breath in and a long breath out, gently opening your eyes in case you had them closed, returning awareness to the room, stretching in any way you would like to. And I'll invite you to not think so much of the practice being over, but what is it like to continue to feel anchored in the present moment as you continue to watch this video? How do you feel right now? What have you noticed during this practice? Maybe you feel more relaxed, calm, refreshed, more aware. Or maybe you feel tired, some pain, or other pleasant or unpleasant feelings. Or maybe you feel nothing at all. Or you got distracted by sounds or thoughts or other stuff. All of that is fine, because we are practicing to become aware of what's going on inside us. Do you know those snow globes? Usually you can buy it at the Christmas markets. When you shake it, there is snow everywhere and you can't really see what's inside. However, when you put it on the table, the snow comes down, the water becomes clear, and you can see what's inside better. The same happens in our mind when we collect our attention and let it rest on the breath. The mind can settle. We experience calmness, we see more clearly, and very often a natural sense of happiness arises. The interesting thing, with practices like this, we can even shape our brain. Contemporary neuroscience suggests that our brain changes its structure and also the function depending on where we direct its attention. This is called neuroplasticity. Hence, the brain is malleable even in adults. So what we practice grows stronger. If we train ourselves to run on autopilot, to be easily distracted, to multitask, to focus on the negative, we reinforce these behaviors. However, we always have a choice where we direct our attention to. We can also consciously decide to be present, to focus on the task at hand, to appreciate what we have. And this choice has a significant impact on how we perceive reality, how we interact with each other, and on our own happiness and well-being. Within the last years, there has been an explosion of research on mindfulness. I just want to show you one review paper that summarizes the current state of neuroscience research on mindfulness. It goes back to Professor Tang and colleagues at the Texas Tech Neuroimaging Institute. They summarize multiple studies point towards 3 functional benefits: attention control, emotion regulation, and self-awareness. These benefits can be found even within daily working life. These are program results from the Search Inside Yourself participants across 15 countries. The participants filled in a questionnaire before and 4 weeks after the program. As you can see, there was a significant impact on 2 measures related to leadership: the ability to understand others' perspectives and the ability to pause before reacting. Imagine what workplaces and the world would be like if people took more time to understand each other's perspectives and if more people could pause before reacting. It is important to know that scientists made incredible discoveries about the brain within the last decades. And at the same time, the research is still in its infancy. According to John Kabat-Zinn, he is the founder of the most studied mindfulness program called MBSR. The aim is to practice mindfulness 24/7, to live life as if it fully mattered, because it does. So-called micro-practices can support us in doing so. Just follow me for the next exercise. It's called the 3 breaths. And it only lasts for 3 breaths. This practice is so important, also in the business context. It helps you to refresh, to be more present, to get off autopilot, to make a choice about what to do next. Take 3 breaths. First breath, bring complete yet gentle attention to the process of breathing. Second breath, let the body fully relax. Third breath, ask yourself, what's most important now? I recommend you to do this exercise several times during the day. For example, before an important conversation, when you feel triggered by something, before you transition from being at work to being at home, or when you have the urge to check your mobile phone or your social media. It's simple and not easy. The not easy part relates to doing the exercise when we most need it. What really helps me to build new mental habits is reminders. This could be a reminder in your calendar, or a post-it note on the fridge, or something else. Just figure out what works for you. I encourage you to bring this quality of attention and awareness into your day, into your life. And I have one extra tip for you. Mindfulness in conversations can help you to build trust and strengthen relationships. Mindful listening to the other person without adding your own story and without trying to solve the problem immediately is a superpower. People want to feel seen, heard, and valued. Mindful listening is a simple tool to do that, and all of us can do it. We just need to become aware of our tendencies to divert conversations and show appreciation by giving the other person airtime. People will feel more comfortable around you, more connected, and are more willing to follow you. I hope this video and the exercises are valuable to you. I wish you lots of curiosity and openness to continue to search inside yourself. Would love to have the opportunity to meet you in person. All the best, and hopefully see you soon.